Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Greetings, everyone, and
Hello.
welcome.
Hello.
This is the Andromeda 7 Celestial Gateway program. Thank you for being here and taking your time to participate every week with our show. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. And welcome to our many new listeners. It's so good to have you with us. Our program is focused on all things spiritual, esoteric, and mystical. And we're grateful and joyful when our celestial gateway is used to reveal spiritual truths worldwide community. And we perceive that community to be a consciously and willfully created community of one. And tonight we have our brothers and sisters from Australia. Back by popular demand is our friend Marc Bright with Joyologynow, and his friend Millie, and Jules sat there traipsing through the background to give us a boots on the ground view of the topography of the area that they're shooting from live. Right, you're live today.
Looks like a beautiful day in Australia.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful
and welcome Dalibor from Germany and Karen from Canada. And
hello, everybody.
You all know Lori. She goes, yeah. You all know Lori. Yeah. she's our producer and co-host and runs the bus here. So she's doing a great job.
Good thing I'm licensed and insured.
Yeah.
So we're gonna mic off so you don't get the wind.
That's right.
Great.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do tonight is we're after Lori gives everybody the greeting in the chat room, we're going to go ahead and play a little video, just a very brief video on what tonight's program's about. I'll give you a little bit of upfront information before we play the video, and then we'll turn it over to Mark and Millie and Jules to lead the team in a live demonstration of some body painting.
Yeah.
And what's behind that, where it comes from, right? Yeah. So, Lori, you want to say hi to the folks in chat?
Yeah, we've got Crystal Mitchell. Good to see you. David Castle. Grandpa Brian, good to see you. True Seeker, always a pleasure. Kelsey8, Kelly, my sister, good to see you, my biological sister. Let's see. Yeah. Who else do we have?
There's actually a biological sister in the midst of all these sisters.
I know, of all these brothers and sisters. I mean, it's the real deal.
Hey, Kelly.
Yeah. That's about it for now, Pajo. Good to see you as well. People are kind of rolling in. So
David Castle.
welcome. Yeah.
Hey.
All right.
So
crowd is here.
All right. Well, let me just give you a brief overview of what to expect tonight if you haven't had a chance to really jump into the YouTube description. But as you all know, Marc Bright, he was here with us a few weeks ago with Conscientious Cartooning, but he also has another whole activity that he does, which is the entertainment side of gatherings and community events and activities. He's a joyologist, and his group is called Joyologynow, which you can find on Facebook. You'll see it in the links. It's a joyful community engagement that delivers personal empowerment workshops. And his services include this sacred inspired body art painting that's inspired by the Aborigines in a more modern context, and he'll tell you about that. So hopefully you'll enjoy his live demonstration. But Aboriginal body painting art and personal ornamentation is an ancient tradition, which carries deep spiritual significance for the Australian Indigenous people, as I understand it. Mm-hmm. Their cultural rituals include body painting that differs between Aboriginal tribes and topographic locations. Mm-hmm. It's actually related to spiritual matters in their community. They tend to be very creative. Their specific designs and motifs are used by the Aboriginal people to reveal their relationships to their family groups, their social positions, their tribes, their precise ancestry, and what they call the totemic fauna and tracts of the land as well, the song lines and the tracts of the land. So when you look at these different tribes, and you're going to see this in the video, you'll see that they have very different designs from tribe to tribe on their bodies. It's how they help recognize one another and celebrate their creation stories and their song lines. Did I get that right, Mark?
Absolutely. Right on the button. Gorgeously described.
Yeah.
Right. So and then Mark has translated this art into a lot of people, including Aboriginal artists, have taken the rock wall arts, which are dots, and they're stippled into the stone. They connect the dots with the paint. They've done the same thing on their bodies, and now you'll see it in their modern art galleries. You'll see some of that in the video, and you'll see it through Mark's Joyful Creations.
Beautiful spoken. Nice intro.
So we'll just have a brief video, and we'll show you what we mean.
All right, let's do that. Enjoy.
Well done. Nice one. Beautifully done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that?
Yeah.
I'll go forward from here if you would like, because it's very exciting what you did there. And some awesome art on those bodies. It's just interesting. I wrote a little book after years of research on all the different tribes around all of the world. Basically, have had something to do. This is with face and body art and ceremonial art. Whether they're white or whether they're brown or yellow or red or black or what, some part of their history is involved with collecting pastes from nature nearby, and basically as often the people like the artist themselves, or the not artists, they would call the shaman, would be doing this job of painting for ceremony, and their task was to collect not only the pastes but the floristry and essences. This one's one of our bush hops that's in flower at the moment, and another gorgeous yellow one that Julianne just collected. I wonder if you can see that there. There's little yellow flowers. See them?
Yeah.
And their essences were then transferred into the pastes that would be made. So that I've got my mix is multicolored because I kind of like use a lot of different ingredients that are a little bit modern, but with essences of nature floristry, crystalline crushed crystals, and shell essences from the nearby ocean. So it's kind of a mix. And these are the like face paints for high quality drama shows, theatre presentations. So they're really good for the body. They're not yucky, toxic or anything. So the combination of that with a lot of intention.
I was kind of curious what the Aboriginals used for body paints, and I would imagine that it was a lot of the foliage and flowers and things that they find, in the outback.
Absolutely there. And you might be able to see it in our background. I might be able to swing it, but you see the circle has got some different rock colors there. Can you see our circle over there? Within that circle, there's quite a few. I'll just come back. There's quite a few.
That way.
There
we go.
Well, yeah. So different colors, the hues of the soil. that was our flower provider, Julianne, the bushwalker in the background. She's checking everything
love
for
that.
us. And,
Just Jules.
Photobomb.
brought them back, and it's lovely, and it's authentically, part of what we do. And where she went, I might mention, she went through the big grass trees and their used stems. Now this is a serious kangaroo's tail looking, big long kangaroo tail stem. That's how long. Close up.
Close up on.
Yeah, that
All
can
those
you
Wow.
see those?
Oh, now you can see the spikes in it. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
Gets cream flour out of every single one of those.
Cream flowers
And then
when
it's
they're fresh. Yeah.
3-pronged seed that opens up and spits the seed out.
Yeah. So that one is. Can you see? I'm still going, and a bit more.
Like
and
extra long.
see how long that's a long one, right?
That is.
That's about 5 meters nearly. I just put that up there, kind of thing, in the set here. But just elaborating a little bit further. So I began doing face painting as a kind of like entertainment, but I like to integrate my spiritual side in. So I did that research and wrote the book.
Nice.
And kind of made reference to all that I could find from
nice. Really nice, Mark.
Tell stories anyway. But the idea was that then, for instance, here, I just want to show a nice example of one. There we go. This girl here, I called her the Galactic Goddess, young one.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Anyway, that's some of them. Then a gentleman.
How
He was
do
a
people-
water carrier.
How do people feel? I'm
Sorry,
sorry, Karen.
I just going to say the picture's so beautiful, and I noticed you put the picture at the throat chakra and at her crown, in her third eye, and you've got them bursting with color and energy that you've painted. Oh my goodness! Right at the important points there of energy.
Absolutely, very important because what we did with this is integrate a lot of modalities. Because I was a healing, a professional masseuse, a Bowen. Reiki, hands-off healing, energy healing, crystal healing, essential oils, all of that for you. I used to have 300 essential oil in a big box. Kind of like integrated that, but interesting enough, with a bit of touch on, with this just a simple point of a brush.
Very relaxing.
And just painting people.
Just gonna ask.
Yeah, the stroking is kind of like a touch, in a healing massage or something.
I wonder how people feel after they're done. What's the feeling or the calm,
maybe
relaxed?
get some advocacies, because hey, Crystal's here. I did one. Come on, Crystal. Next to us here's Crystal.
Okay.
What? Tell them, Crystal. What?
Hi, Crystal. Welcome.
So you guys got photos of me the last time that Mark actually painted me. So the story for me was I got into the car when my husband and son come and picked me up, and Bryce, being who he is, because a lot of you know about Bryce, Mum's talked about him and everything.
Yeah.
He took one look at me and he put his hand up to my forehead and went, "Off, Mum," because of energy that he could feel.
Oh, wow.
So
Really?
it was just joy, having painted and the energy flowing through you. It was just awesome experience.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you. That was a nice one. That was it. We'll do one on Millie in a minute, but I just want to.
I'm all excited.
Yeah, good for Millie.
And I mean, we're clothed and everything, but I go to like the huge beach gatherings, sacred ocean times, and I did a delphinic program next to, not far from down here, basically as the crow flies, about 30 kilometers to the water, and we had a whole retreat near the ocean for a dolphin retreat, and painted. Everyone had cozies on, so painted the bodies with the cozies on and full body, but they're lovely. But it doesn't have to be that. It can be arm, like Familiar here. She's got a bit arm open, and wherever and just the little tiniest of markings can do the job because you get very detailed. But the color range is really important for me because there's a nice spectrum there. But I've also used a lot of the natural ochres, and Millie's bringing up this is really important. Can you see that that
Yes.
Julianne
Yes.
collected.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Shiny edge.
there's a
there.
shiny edge. Maybe you can show. This is the actual sap out of the grass tree. That's crystallized.
Oh, wow.
See, and that resin.
It smells like a rose and
Oh,
Can you
amber.
burn it and,
You're
and
kidding.
smell it?
Yeah.
and that
Like
original one
incense?
that- yeah,
Yeah,
they roll it, crush it, and roll it into little incense sticks, and
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
We had
Oh,
a
that's
sacred
incredible. Oh,
Yeah.
and Julianne had sent us a bunch of pictures. And if you look on our community adventures page, everybody on the Crystal Network, there's a whole spread about the grass trees and a picture of Julianne and the picture she took and the resin. And so it's already on the network.
oh, it's good.
But he would say
She's
that, Julianne.
having
Thank
a
you,
drink of
Julianne.
water
You
after
sent all
hitting the-
that great
yeah.
stuff with about the grass
Yeah,
trees.
that's a very unique tree, and you don't
Yes.
see any of that anywhere in Europe. I mean, up until very recently, I didn't even know what a grass tree was. So it's
Yeah.
it's good that you explained that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
I had
did
no
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
either.
I don't know if I can pan it quickly, but I can just. Can I do an attempt at panning just down
Sure,
to
go
a
for it.
300-year-old
Go for it.
tree? Just there's a bunch of them just down there.
Oh,
Can you see
wow.
them?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're there,
Big
but they're
clumps of
200
grass.
300 years old. Those trees.
They grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Inch a year they grow, and there's a whole lot down. Anyway, you get the idea. So
Mhm.
They get really big and really tall, don't they?
they do, and
Mhm.
they bump out heads sideways off of the main stem. But Aboriginal people would treat these plants as very sacred. And Millie, I just wanted to honour this bit of land here with along with the rock that we have, like the seriously amazing rock, wherever lots of pieces are. What we showed earlier, this is serpentine rock.
Serpentine.
But that
Oh,
looks
yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
in-
Yeah,
Nice.
bluey coloured, amazing. Plus the black bush. She's kept this land for 31 years and not had any clearing like the other places around who just put cows on and all don't care, knock everything down. So it's got a lot of the original business 400 and 500-year-old trees. So the vibe is good.
Yes,
Is good.
good vibes. Good vibes.
Yes,
Have the
awesome.
good vibes. So what we're just cutting back about that, about being in these sort of nature places enhances the kind of mood. And so as a service or provider, come into a retreat or an event, and we just sit down under a shade and in nature while, say, music's going, and I do this all day long. My record was 500 in one day. I painted
Oh
500.
my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Mhm.
That's a few.
How
you know?
possible.
Mhm.
That's pretty
Holy
cool.
Oh
Yeah.
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
But they
Yeah.
weren't just like rushed or anything. It was just really nice. And so I'll just show you, like, for instance, I come up to Millie's arm, like you can see that I'll get the zero in on the arm thing.
Okay, here
There's
we
an
go.
arm. So, for instance, this one here, it's the water theme, because for here, this property has just had a bore open up yesterday. A bore on the earth has basically agreed to open up with a bit of coaxing from our bore people, drilling people,
Okay.
and we've got access to some underground water to do all our revegetation program, which will bring back what would be the original plants on this property that was before Millie. There was some degradation, so we're collecting the most incredible array of original plants that are especially seeded by my Aboriginal friend Eugene, who's a master florist and bush medicine and bush food person. So he's got some tricks. I can tell you how to get certain seeds to germinate that most people can't. So we're working close with him to really do that. Which is kind of cool because it's by his hand, that way. But in regards to the water, Millie's kind of connected strongly. This is pink energy. This is like a vibration of softness and the feminine, like I would call that ripple effect. So I'm kind of like making ripple effects here. They're little like vibrations on the sides to kind of enhance the kind of effect of her decision
I love the
to
colors.
decision to kind of connect with the water after all this time. It's been a dry property, but there's been water, but there's been dry times, and therefore the plants haven't quite been able to grow as well. Now the water's there, you can do lots of amazing growing. I was a landscaper and did 16,000 plantings for major developments around the conservation parklands around big division not far from here at Noosa, which is called Aboriginal name for place of shade, which will kind of tell in the story. But long story there, because those places they needed water, and we were able to access it. But there was a lot of caring for the land's water and the underground water spirit, because we didn't just rush in here. We spent a lot of time connecting and checking all right or what and where, and we did divining and spoke to the old people in our dreamings, and so there's a lot of that going on. So just yesterday that bore was opened, so that's symbolic. And yeah, wasn't it, Millie?
The energy as the water was about to come out of the ground was like extremely intense. That the water was like giving itself up. So
here's a little step ladder. I call one of these ones a step ladder from the inner earth, and we just put that hand there. So here's a kind of inner lava place. You might see that red, and that's Aboriginal, a little bit of Aboriginal colouring there. And so it's kind of like the inner earth people are kind of graduating up to this, up to come out through the waters and make themselves known, and bring themselves in a kind of like I would call it a rainbow celebration, if you like, a little bit of rainbow. And here's the greening. Here's the greening coming in. The greening as a consequence of their decision to let this happen. A bit of greening come forward. So that's nice. But in all this, it's Millie's choice, and for her personal development, she really went through a lot to break through to get this to happen. Gone through a lot of
story. That's her story.
That is a little story. So that's just the start. That's just one. So we'll just leave it at that for a moment, but just elaborate a little bit more on it, because with her expression, we'll work on her throat in a minute, but that's part of her. She's got a natural voice. She's quite a musician and a songstress, and I've got all these songs, but one of them particularly I took from the Mayan people, when the spirit was really present and was being connected to. They would remind themselves that they were part of the greater central sun, which is Andromeda. We'll understand there's a kind of like, a bigger picture in this universe, and the Mayans made reference to it. So I would often check the song of the tribes that I was connecting with across these research platforms that I was doing. And one, I managed to get this song actually sung to me accidentally by a Mayan elder who came here in an event that I was at. And it was kind of symbolic of the things that were coming out of the music that he was playing and the song. And he sat next to me and I painted to the music. If you get
the frequency of the sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
The song to you. I'll sing the song. Okay. It goes, Kuate, Leno, Leno, Mawate. Hayano, Hayano, Hayano. We are one with the infinite sun, forever and ever and ever. Kuate, Leno, Leno, Mawate. Hayano, Hayano, Hayano. We are one with the infinite sun, forever and ever and ever. Ho! So
I love that.
Yeah.
So that was great.
And that's exactly how the tribes celebrate through dance and song. There's story with their body art. Yeah, that's
it. So it's a ceremony, and I get paid to come and do this, like quite a bit of money, to be honest. But other times I just said I'm doing it because it's necessary and just do it. I just get in, and for instance, there's a corroboree by the Aboriginal beings coming up, it happens to be on my birthday, 4th of December. Soon, there they are, having fun. Those ones that's still going. Happy days. Thanks for bearing with us, viewers. We're having just freelance play here. Doesn't matter.
Oh no,
Play is play.
It's
Yeah,
joyful
play.
Joyology now. It's
Mhm.
joyful celebration. So that's what
Why
it's
not?
all about.
And what corroboree means is a place of song, a earth connection place of song. So there's one going on
And dance.
as the crow flies back south over our top of our heads. The crow, and it's on my birthday in 2 weeks' time, where it's a special. Yeah,
Good on you,
that's
Mark.
it. 101 years old, 1,001 years old.
It's his big
No.
Earth Day. He's born on Earth.
That's it. Crash from the stars. So my Aboriginal friend says we all crashed from the stars and turned up. But what it is that they'll be doing a corroboree, effectively around a circle like what we were showing you just before. We're next to at our circle up here, and the tribes are gathering. See, there's a pretty strong cultural torch being held that they're helping the white fella get their sovereignty. Community sovereignty.
Rainbow people getting together.
Rainbow people
There
get
you
together,
go.
and
That's
and
awesome.
also, powerful gathering. So I'll just turn up and paint if it's meant to be or not. That's what I do. But the other aspect of the painting is preparation for the Aboriginal beings that are there. They'll prepare for dance. And I work with them, and we go in the bush. We do walking, like we do what we call walk and talks. And we just go like Julianne, she was just up the back there, weren't you? Right up the back of our property, and just you're listening. What sort of extra move have they got? What am I going to convey in my body when I'm dancing the spirit message? See, she's got the hippie shake going.
She was dancing with lizards, but won't admit it.
Lizards, goanna. You know what a goanna is?
Yeah.
You know what a goanna is, you blokes?
Not dancing. Huge.
No.
It's huge,
Big
yeah.
lizard.
Big
It's a
lizard.
giant
Like an
lizard.
iguana. It's like an iguana, right?
Yeah, like an iguana, but add another meter and a half.
Yeah,
you know, like,
much bigger.
long.
Like a
And,
gator. Like a gator.
Oh wow.
It's a good band though
And-
too.
and- it's true. And so just that leads me to, like, when I'm doing the painting and the intuitive readings, sometimes, often, totems come through. So with the dance or I'm with the dancers or whenever, I often scout the local landscape and spend time there first. And I just sometimes, for instance, like with Millie, I say this, and this isn't preempted, but she's often, as I see it, got the little dolphin play going on. See, can you see that little dolphin and a dreaming? And a little dreaming.
She's a dreamer.
And a little dreaming. And a little water dreamer. And a little spirit business up here that kind of opens to the top crown chakra.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Cool.
we're just working through, because that dolphin energy is a playful business, and and so
Still getting used to the way
and here's the spiritual business. Around here, this is a really strong spiritual calling voice that she's got, that often comes forward when she wants to have a song that comes through, like why don't you wake up and shine, bringing the love that is yours, feeling serene and divine. Let joy and peace bring you home. Nice song.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
lovely.
Very nice.
So she bursts into that on the odd
Sometimes
occasion.
hard to get it in the right key with other people.
Oh,
He is to sing.
it's all good.
I've got a higher voice and Mark's got a lower voice.
So we just work it out. But here's the groundingness. So as much as all that's opened up, I just want to mention Millie she's a little light carrier here. So you might just see that little light there, grounded light. She
That's
as
cool.
much as you fly around and have like a big, expression creative, very grounded, very deeply grounded here. So that sort of stuff is real business. And Aboriginal people, The
not
land,
your
yeah.
ground.
And that's I just want to mention the color when we're talking. You know, I bring stuff in here like the orange because it like the desert energy is also part of this place. It gets quite dry, but then it gets wet. It's kind of like that sort of thing, you know, the desert. But then we're talking about Native American Indian, some of the past life influences and some of the connections that we've had with them, like Cherokee elders who came over recently and asked us to do some work with them, which was really powerful.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and we took them out to see my Aboriginal friend who, as the crow flies, is a bit west from here, on the road called Black Snake Road, and his totem happens to be the black snake given to him by his father and mother, because he saw a black snake at 2 years old near him, and he was really enlivened, you know, interested and engaged with this snake. So he received that totem. So sometimes when I'm doing stuff like here with Millie, I don't sort of give her a totem, but a lot of the white fellas or ladies or men or what who come along with me, somehow they haven't had that sort of stuff. You know, they haven't had, you know, things to do with totems and connection with country and stuff. But I asked them, or I asked their spirit, like, yeah, I'm sitting here and often just don't speak, and just kind of do it.
Take it in.
Yeah, and you get like little message.
You get that intuition and you get that psychic message.
Well,
And you
Mark, it's interesting because I mean, what you're doing, like I can see it, like you're combining, your energies are flowing together and mixing, and there's trust there, and I can see your auras going and mixing, and you're getting the information straight off their auric fields, and the trust is there, and no wonder it's such an equal exchange of love and energy that you're giving, and no wonder you like to do it, and it's you just, because you receive as much back as you're giving, and it's a circular energy give and take, and I find what I'm seeing is there's no wanting and demanding and more energy than the other. It's just a loving equal exchange. And it's interesting, the colors that you're using in the magenta ranges is matching the auric fields that you're displaying right now.
That's a really good way to put it, Karen. Yeah.
Thanks for that feedback, because like sometimes out of the blue feels like come from elsewhere. Something comes in, and I this hand it not me doing things. I could be looking over here and doing that, you know. And it just does it, man. Like for instance, I'll give you an example. 20 kids, naughty kids, the ones that the event organisers wouldn't let in, turned up, right? And I don't care. I deal with the kids in the bush with my Aboriginal elder who are naughty as they're criminal. What the heck? Don't care. All in. Yeah. We're going to revegetate and just have a walk and talk, and you do whatever, but don't do too much stupid things. And they go, oh, okay, you know, and they just go along, and it's changed the dynamic quick, you know. So these bunch of 20 kids come in to wreak havoc into this event, and I saw them on their way, and I knew what was afoot, and I just said, come here, and they go, you talking to me? And I said, yeah, come here, and they go, okay. You know? And I painted them all in about like a real quick. I was just like this, all bodies and legs, and grounding them. Hit a grounding with the red color. Like got my red out, grounded to the foot, and just held it there and held them, and just put all this work on them. And
nobody's ever done anything like that for them before.
No, man. You should have seen the whole story. The organizer says, "What did you let them in for? They're gonna do what? They're gonna steal things and what?" I said, "They're not gonna do that."
No.
You know.
You shift their energy. You shift it completely. You shift their energy, their auras.
Connected.
And
that's beautiful.
And believe it or not, you've captured the whole thing of painting and body painting right back to the Toltecs that I'm aware of and part of, and Olmecs and way back. And it's the whole point of the body painting is to start the state of mind and the shifting of the energy. And starting a journey. Yeah.
That's the one.
And I can't believe it. Mark, I'm just honored and amazed. I didn't realize.
Me too.
I saw you do this and saw your auras in the exchange. It was like, oh my God.
Wow.
We'll have to come and do you guys one day.
Oh, yeah. That would
definitely,
be great.
Definitely.
Well, I'm coming to Australia. So
Yeah.
Come to Australia.
We'll go over. You come. have some fun.
You know, there's something else I'm noticing too, and that is once the person has been painted, and they have shifted their energy, then there's an outward push almost naturally of an intent, if you will, or a message that lifts everyone's consciousness around them. So because they're reading that art,
That's it.
and they're thinking about it. What does this mean? And and it's the story moves the viewer, the observer.
Definitely allows everybody to have their own soul. What do you call it? Heart on the sleeve, soul on the out front, and that's cool. That's all right.
It's like a little switch goes on inside.
Yeah. Exactly, because he's moving and shifting you and moving you to align. Yeah. Oh,
absolutely.
Shifting you exactly to open and align to exactly the energy you need at that moment to and it's so much that it overflows and bursts forth from the person.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much energy you give at the time that you're doing it, Mark. It's crazy.
Absolutely fun. I thought
you had that music, Karen. You had that music and dance to it. When he's doing this, we don't have that video, but there's another video where you're actually I mean, talk about amplifying the frequency.
Well, that's a segue in for Julianne to get her face painted now.
Yes.
Come on, she'll change chair. Doesn't matter. Here she goes. This girl, okay, a little beacon of light. Definitely.
Yes, she is.
A little light beacon. Here she goes. Definitely a light beacon. And she's a barometer. Almost a barometer for good vibe in community in this district. So we kind of like making a little energetic that opens up that way, and that one there. Well grounded though. This girl, she makes up concoctions and potions and lotions and with emotion.
I was going to say, I promise not to tickle you, Jules.
But she's got wings of the earth. See, these are wings.
Ooh.
These are wings, and she listens over here. She listens to her wings of the earth. She doesn't ignore anything that she gets that's of value from the earth. She's an earth being. Keeps it very nice and grounded. And we're just getting her wings right. Got to get her fly straight. She needs 2 wings. Get 2 on. Can't have her flying one wing and go crooked. So here we go over there. She's listening, and we just keep it like this, and we'll get that going. A little bit rough, but that'll work. We'll get it going. But there's
what are you
layers.
trying to say, Mark? I'm a bit rough.
No, not you. Me, I'm a bit rough. Don't worry. Yep. Now here's the pink because there's a lot of heart in it. I'm just putting a lot of heart here. A lot of heart connection there with the Mother Mary of community. A little bit like that. Mother Mary is, archetypical, the feminine kind of all-time ages. Community, mothering and nurturing of community. A good Cancerian she is, and looks after that side of things. Here's a throat chakra, and she's definitely a spirited being. And I'll just put these are little guardian flames, purple flames, just sitting here. They're good, and there's always a circle around her, some kind of something circly, and water business, but she listens to the flow of water. So I'm just making sure she make up connection there. So it shows that that's the water serpent spirit that comes from around. Recently, we've had big rain, and that's joining in on the proceedings in her life, the listening to the water spirit. Again, a grounding activity. Like this orange has also a kind of activity content to it. It's kind of bright and it's like second chakra thing, but she's got it at her throat chakra, so she does a lot of talking, chatting and sharing.
So feeling this right now, the synchronicity. I'm just so feeling this because that's where the Mary energy appears to me, is by the lake and in the woods all the time. She's true. So that's why you have the Mary River. It's named after her too, right?
It is there.
And I live on Mary's Creek.
Mary's Creek Road.
That's where the birthing pools are. Of course, where it all started.
Right. I'm just getting this right. It's a little.
That means Jules has a full-on 100% connection all the time with that Mary energy. Yeah.
She definitely lives it. Like there's no doubt about that. Her living it, and all the concoctions like the emotions and the lotions, she definitely brings them out to give. Like that, she's not short of the giving. So that's kind of a natural flow of unconditional, feminine, archetypical feminine mothering for the community. Given, just given, given, and no hold ups. Very beautiful like that. Again, very grounded. And now if she took her top off, I'd put one on her belly button.
I'm not gonna touch that.
As a matter of fact, you might have seen in the preamble at the video, have a lot of mothers with bubbers, right, pregnant, and the belly button.
I saw that. Yeah,
it's been amazing. I can tell you some stories about that, but it'll go on. But the babies and what happened when they came out of the womb mentions the painting that they talked about it, like they got to 3 and 4, and then there was photos, and they said they had energetic reference to that experience. It was really interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredible. Of course.
I'm not pregnant though.
No. Well, belly button birthplace, that kind of poetic license.
It's okay. It's okay, Mark.
Yeah, it's all right. A little bit of grounded. I'm just adding groundedness, and a little bit of connection with color to the brow chakra up here. I'm kind of going in there and going to the crown chakra and working it around and grounding it down through the spine, down through into the head. So that
went to the Yoniverse, everybody.
Right through.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Right through.
Yeah, I felt it go right through.
So that you don't always rush around. We spend time quiet, and some amazing work. The brush, and I just do a little hand painting. You got your hand there? There's a hand, and I just kind of put a little story here. This is like a little a pyramid. This is a water pyramid, and it's a balanced one, beautifully balanced, and it's got kind of a what you would call it, her spiritual flow. So kind of like how she directs. This is her right hand, how she kind of puts it out there, how she expresses from that, kind of like strong water, not like floppy dribbly bits, strong water. Good. And but I want to just always like reference up here, like these here are the little spiritual sort of light beings in support. They this was almost like a little dove. You can probably see little doves. That this is the idea, white birds, just sitting there, kind of like hovering and in support of all our activities from a higher perspective. So
the higher view and the peaceful view.
That's some of it, but
that's neat.
Pretty.
We can go on and on. I get lots of time and have a look. But love that sort of work. And
thanks, Mark.
Yeah, happy days.
Mark, do you ever paint yourself?
Yeah, paint myself. No problems at all. There's a preparation. I just want to reference here little plant that we've been seeding 300 of these plants. Can you see that one there?
Mm-hmm.
That's that one is a little called a plum pine or brown pine, and it produces a small little seed, well, about the size of a fingernail, and a plum on the end of it, like a sort of spider body, a bigger plum. And in the Gympie, there's a mother tree in the main park of one of these, and I got 300 or so up to shoot out of the pot recently. With the rains, everything's going fine. So these have just been put out onto the property to symbolize kind of like it's a giving plant, very really good one. So they've just gone out to 200, haven't they, Millie? Gone out. We put them in.
A few years ago, I come across Mark and I'm saying, "What are you doing?" He's in our memorial park collecting the seed. So you just collect seed, like we collect seed and then we sow it.
There you go. So it's symbolic good business. Yeah.
Good juju.
But also those crystals and things like the mixture of all this getting in the paint together. That's one of my passions is when people come. So give them the book and say, well, we'll maybe make your own. Do this yourself. You know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're all interested, that I know we can do walk
I have
one
a
day.
question. I have a question, Mark, because you just mentioned several times about, of course, putting crystals into your paint, which for me, because I'm the queen of quartz and I'm a prospector miner and I have one of the largest quartz crystal collections you could imagine.
I bet you do.
So I'm interested to know what crystals you're talking about, because I know there would be a variety of different ones with different significance and colors to match the paint.
True.
So do you do different ones, or is it all quartz crystals? So what are you putting in?
A lovely mixture. To be honest, a beautiful mixture of the color schemes, color range in crystals. Like lapis lazuli for darker blue, and
of course,
quartz, the white paint, and then the rose quartz for the pink. So we go through that spectrum.
So that's very significant, though, because look at what you're doing. Not only are you doing the vibration with the color schemes itself and the energy around that, but the significance of the crystals, the energy of each crystals, which are alive, and quartz and they're piezoelectric with charges within the fields. And then you're matching up the actual vibrations and colors and the significance. And all of those crystals have different things that they do, and including rose quartz for calmness and serenity, clear crystals for clarity and for
and Crystal, who's sitting here,
so I can see that, like, why now that's so powerful when you do the body painting as well. So that's really significant as far as everybody, as far as
most
the
definitely.
color.
Oh, definitely.
The vibration of the paint, to match. So that's
I think just what he does is just incredible, and he teaches, his workshops teach people how to do this too, right, Mark?
That's true. Easy to do. It's not rocket science. It's just following a simple formula. Get to ground, get the basic ingredients, and mix it up together. It is good ceremony,
Yeah.
See, I think it works not just on the human body, but people have been doing this with cars. By putting, for example, racing stripes. I'll bet you any money that a car with racing stripes is probably faster than a car without them.
I bet you're right.
If only through the subconscious effect on the driver.
I don't know, Dalibor. Every summer we have a state fair and we have a county fair here, and I used to do I helped this guy do the boxcar derby, and we painted all kinds of symbology on that boxcar, and we were just going to go out there, and within the first 5 seconds, boom, we were smashed. So maybe if I had known some of this art, you never know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Crystal, I call her Crystal Fountain here. This is kind of like a fountain out of her third eye. She has that presence when she's bearing down on some of the systems organizers of the local school, who tell her that she's got to have 2 jabs in the next week to remain on the board. She just sends out this fountain of like love and understanding, and just kind of clear as a bell, and they all go, why can't you have one? It'll be good for you. You have a jab or 2, and she just keeps sitting there with the right vibes. Is that that's right, isn't it? Yeah. I got a pat on the rear behind. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe a dingo come along out here, one of their dogs. Ruby.
It's Ruby.
Ruby the dog.
She's a border collie. She's beautiful.
She's gorgeous. A little wolf, we call her. She's like a little wolf. So here's a purple pyramid, and she's going to do a bit more advocating, according to what she said to us earlier, with our group, to kind of show how a community of experienced mothers and homeschoolers can kind of show a different way for working with disability kids, or what you call them, whatever, special kids, peoples, and that in a way that's not done by the system. So she's got that kind of absolute knowledge with her lovely son Bryce, and knows the system, and so we're excited to be working, Julianne and I and Million, together to kind of show and tell ways you can kind of do it different without it being a trauma in transition to the new systems. It can be done. We've been doing it a while. Just kind of let to it, keep grounded.
Do it. Yeah, just do it.
That sort of thing. That takes the kind of fear and worry business out of it. And that's where I see her. Like, this is the big heart thing. I got a bit of a heart factor going. I must acknowledge her. And those ones here are serpent guardians of her spiritual knowledge in unconditional love that she carries. So that's these are serpent guardians that form a heart shape. So that's kind of cool. See that there?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one you go?
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, so she's big energy, like literally kind of strong energy, this girl. Don't mess around and don't get in her way. If there's something to do there that's right. And you've got, bang. She won't hit you, but energy, I mean, you know. And here's the green thing, because she's got mum who's grounded, and she doesn't mind getting grounded. So here's a little kind of like guardian earth, green guardian, which is the plants that kind of underpin everything. She's had a great connection today, haven't we, with the nature today? So that helps getting to earth, digging it in deep, and then the blue. So the blue being the water here, again, that's another, like mum, a bit like mum, a serpent, water serpent, and she listens to that water truth, and it's got an inherent consciousness. So never underestimate. She does not underestimate the power of water, you know. So here's the power which is going right through. And I just might mention at the back of the neck here, and there's a little seat, you know, at the back of the skull, you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm just touching that one just to get the activation going too, because there's a pulse comes from the back here over here. You know, those you're healing people, you know, there's a pulse, there's a slow pulse, very steady. And so sometimes it's important to kind of just connect with the base there point and just suggest on that flow. So when there's, you know, challenge and change, Crystal's had to kind of let go of what she's been doing for the system and so much good, and say, well, no, it's time for me to do something else, right? You know? And there's a few people I know who are doing similar kind of revelations, internal work that's kind of big let go, you know? So
yeah, definitely.
And to reset, recalibrate, what was kind of work a little bit with that, what I just did, to reset and recalibrate to it, to kind of authenticity, self-sovereignty, you know, sharing in the community in that full way again. Totally. That's the gig, eh? Happy days.
How you feel, Crystal? How you feeling?
Awesome. Much better than I was feeling this morning, can I say?
Yes,
The energy this morning for me was it's quite rough. So I actually do feel a lot better.
Good.
So an energy shift there, definitely.
It's all about shifting.
So you have more clarity of the difference in the situation from this morning till today. It's because look at it, it's right on your third eye, and he's used all white, which is clear crystal, and it has to do with clarity. And
clear crystal,
right in the middle there.
Well, we call it clear crystal.
Yep.
Now, Mark, when you're painting at an event with people that you don't know as well as Crystal and Jules, you talked a little while ago about tapping into your intuition and trusting the messages that are coming in. How much time do you get to spend with them verbally communicating with them to get to know them a little bit before you? I imagine you have a unique way of opening them up. Huh?
Look. I'm fairly forthright, and I can just come here, and if you want to, no pressure, but like let's just do it. And I immediately kind of tune in, and I'm getting painted now. Millie's going to paint me, so
okay,
right,
good,
like that.
So she's got that going, but I'll just mention that
she's a great artist. Millie is
an artist.
She is.
And you're good. So I'll just, it's a worthwhile thing to note, because this is not your standard thing in mainstream. You know, it's often been seen as something to do with tribal, uncivilized, all that you don't want to be seen as if you want to be kind of like up to moment, cool, or what I don't know. You know, that silly that concept. But, but it's, as a matter of fact, turning around a little bit, that that concept has turned around in the last few years, I think, and a lot of people are just kind of wanting to kind of have a little try on that, and they see it as a bit of a far out, thing. But once they get in, and then we start really tuning in.
Yeah.
But like I said at an event, it's called Mind, Body, Spirit event, and I'll just sit there, and I'm meant to be there, so they just turn up,
From what I could tell with the research on this is that over time, especially since the 1970s or mid 1970s, folks in your community were starting to come around a little bit more on this and be more open to it, because they were seeing it transformed into artwork first on the walls, like our video showed, the paintings.
That's right.
There's several museums around Queensland and other areas that apparently have these whole art galleries with whole rooms in them from different painters from different tribes showing their dream stories and other activities. And it's all coming out in the form of modern art. And so people are becoming more accepting of it, knowing that it came from the original, from the art, from the rock wall art.
That's
true.
true.
And the body painting. And so they get away from the old way of thinking about tribes and and they see the modern influence in their lives, and so they're more open now to it. That's what it seems like.
That's true. It seems, well, I would say that the cultural people are kind of holding the torch bearers for their role to help transition in this time for everyone, you know. So it just, as we speak, I know I could almost point over the top of the computer at the Gympie Pyramid. We have a group of Aboriginal friends who are fighting to stop a big road going through that place.
Kabi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a whole section of that too.
That's it. And those people I've known a lot. I've known Carry On here, but like I've been walking with my friend Eugene, who's effectively the preeminent man that they go to. He's a big guy, and he used to be a sergeant at arms at a bikie gang. So he was often the go-to man to get trouble off of some of the women, Aboriginal women. So he was quite an amazing man. But he's now a florist, but he's trained a lot of these people in connecting to country. And I was walking with him for 25 years, and we went to all of the group's major meetings. So I was his kind of computer. He called me his computer because I could do emails, right? But I'm just saying, looking with these people now, I can see them, that what they've done is study the statutes of law. It's interesting because Whitbooker...
I'll just say something.
Yeah, here's Julianne going to follow in with that.
We've got our protest going on in town, and Whitbooker's just spoken because Crystal got a video sent to her while we've been sitting here.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so that's just the latest in our little town. But this was more important, right? To be out here with Mark right now.
Thank you. But it's part of the gig because Whitbooker is about the dog star, which is his story is quite interesting because he was charged with hitting the mayor, and the mayor's office. He didn't hit it. The mayor whacked him. I know this is the case, and he had to defend himself. And we spent time having coffee together where he was bringing out statute books in the coffee shop, and people going, what's that old Harry Potter giant book about? It's the legal statutes from 1850 and all this, to where things started to change, and, way back then. So he was studying that, and I was in his company as he was doing that, and I listened to how he came to the revelations and pieced the pieces together about what really is going on, and then worked to present them in a lucid, clear way to defend himself out of that action, and also now take on the roads government and basically represent a lot of the people who want to care for nature and environment in this district and community all in one. So he's taken a big role. I've been privy to that. So
you're witnessing the change.
Yeah.
But
and also Yeah, I might just say also, like white fella, the Wirrajin, which is black and white fella energy, has come to the fore in recent times with a lot of the ones that I've meeting in those big meetings, where before I was whitey, and they're kind of like anti-white fella, right? And that was a rock and hard place for me, you know. Kind of working with the trying to help, but not being accepted. But that's changed such that it's very much directed from spirit, but also from their elders, the really old ones who really do know, who are saying, no, now's the time to do that representation. So
is that word virgin, is that from the Aboriginal?
Yes, tribe? It's collaboration and share between white and black. It's everybody, working together.
Brilliant. Yes.
Yes, it is.
To refer to both and put, you know, instead of labeling it one or the other,
yeah,
you bring the two together and then it just is. Yeah.
And they're making great headway, because that video that Jules shared yesterday, I believe it was, for us it was yesterday, shows that they were finally able to tap into some outside assistance.
Yeah.
Assistance from the other parts of the world, including Robert Kennedy. Robert Kennedy, who's a human, who's a you know who Robert Kennedy is.
Of course.
And so he's gotten very involved now with Wutbuka and Diane and the Kabi Kabi tribe to help them, because it's like, and so they're the ones that figured out that there's a whole lot of law breaking going on within the court. So therefore, you can't keep us out. We can help these people. They're the sovereign people. We're coming into your courtroom, and not only are we doing that, we're putting you on trial.
Yeah, turn the whole table on its head.
Flip it around. Just flip it around.
Flip the script.
I was like, yes, they got some outside, because that's what I was hinting at during that interview is, can't you get the attention? Well, we can't bring them in because our legal system won't recognize them. Well, your legal system isn't legal.
That's funny about that. And interesting you should speak this, because what I'll do with Millie next week, we're going to the schools to do our program for the
great.
Which is pretty cool. And of course, I don't jab, and I'm not even talking about jabs. I'm just meant to be there with our full show and interactive about caring for water, and I'll be painting people and
shifting those frequencies. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, you don't think about all that. You just go for the joy. But I've just put an email together to the principal. Now, just as I was doing that, I had a friend who'd done Bronwyn here. She's a lovely lady who's been researching with the Australia Connect group. Anyway, they're all about serving principals in the schools and the education heads of department, because they want to turn the tables on that education model that's dumbing the kids down, right? You know? So she's just told me that they just served the principals of the schools that I'm about to go to with these papers, which says you can't go forcing. I'm getting it from all angles here.
The children are playing behind your back, Mark.
Happy days. All good. It's good. I'm just trying to rave this through. And the principals are between a rock and a hard place, because the parents aren't going to tolerate their jurisdiction of care for the kids for all their life, starting from definitely now, is underway. So no jabbies for the kiddies, you know. And so the principals can't reject them to not come up the schoolyard and all this other. The grandparents are saying that's what we want now, and so the Parents and Friends organisation, which is kind of part of the network of a school community in Australia, all the senior gather as a school community on special events, and they're all behind it. So the tables are turning on, and so the curriculum's even been totally looked at as if to say, what? No, we're not doing that whole thing, just read and write and get point scores for reading and write only. You've got the other aspect of life skill, you know?
Yeah.
Most
Not just
definitely.
that, but the modern education system is it goes back to the 1800s, and it's a cookie cutter approach where everybody's expected to know the same things. And since we're not all the same, we're not all going to be good at the same things. It's
No.
irrational to expect everybody to take the same interest and therefore develop those same abilities. So
Mhm.
yeah, in other words, kids should be able to study whatever they want.
Thank you all for your gifts and talents.
That's right.
Exactly, Jules.
Because I'm not going to paint nobody's face because it wouldn't look like this.
Mark, what are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
What are you feeling right now as she's putting this
Oh.
paint on you?
Yeah, no, beautiful. Sort of grounded and being cared for. I definitely enjoyed, getting stroked. Yeah, that's it. Good being
I'm
stroked.
not going to go there.
Oh, no, it's not.
No one is.
No, it's not.
I can. Again, look, it's okay. We're all
This
adults.
could be a lot of fun.
Oh my.
There we go.
No, yeah, good thing. No, I definitely sense the markings and Aboriginal business coming through before, because the whispers that we get from this right
trees.
here where we are,
Mhm.
you might not, but it's from a subconscious level.
Same.
Ooh,
I
I
definitely
like that.
feel
Oh, that's cool.
business.
Mark
Oh,
Bright.
wow.
Look how bright Mark is.
Yeah,
Supernova.
Go the other side. Very bright.
Yeah.
Like an
There
avatar,
you
doesn't
go.
he? Very
Yes, but I see the water lines. I see the grass. I see the ladder. I see the
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
And a little bit of dancing spirit in me, because
Dancing spirit. Yes, I see
I've
that.
definitely a bit of a dancing spirit, because this circle we're right next to, the big fire circle, we're dancing there, business. So we're actually planning, just of interest, one of the things, because we've got water on the property now for use, is to make a magnesium spa just here, so that you have a fire, and then you have, magnesium's really good for your body, right? Like,
Yes.
we kind of got plans to mine some of that we've got here, and fire and water treatment. I'm getting my head turned around here.
There won't be any ice though. Sorry, we're
No
not
ice.
that
Oh, that's
cold.
a bit harsh, some of that. But the whispers here, like, and if you're tuned in and you're quiet and silent, and those things are starting to be heard by the kids. And one of the passions we had when we were going to schools is to walk in the schoolyard or around the perimeters of a schoolyard under a program we did with Eugene. I mentioned Eugene Bargo, he's Aboriginal elder, and we're rebooting that. It's called Bush Skills for Country, Cultural Training for All, meaning that the Wirragin theme of white, black, whatever, all in. We've been doing this for a long time, but now it's really prominent. So walks and talks and shares nearby any place in Australian kind of schooling has lots of little country and places that some of the old system was, don't go near the dirt, or don't go there because we can't public liability save you from, or what the.
Right,
But
Interest,
insurances
will be gone, everybody.
so
So don't be worrying.
we just go, don't worry about that. We're going
That's
for a
my
walk.
dream. Yes,
That would be
Yeah.
nice.
that would
go
be
for a walk.
wonderful. Yeah.
Well, that'd be nice. Yeah. Buy into the insurance scam of fear, right?
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
All gone.
Totally.
That'll be gone.
Yeah. So, and they couldn't climb trees, and weren't allowed to climb a tree. Can't climb a tree, you'll die. So that was the edict from the.
No, I'm about to climb a
Yeah,
tree.
go and climb a tree. And
Well,
all the, I don't know if you were kids once, weren't you? You bloke, girls, and boys. You climbed a tree, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, we used to
Look,
climb
see,
trees
trying
a
to
lot.
climb trees.
Yeah, we used
Bye. Have fun, girls.
Oh,
Where
where
the
do you
girls
go?
go?
Oh, no, see?
Going for a walk.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, Mark, they're crazy.
What have fun, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about Joyologynow. You have other types of events and services that you provide beyond the body painting. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about
Yeah.
your
Well,
your
look, we
activity.
make recycled instruments out of PVC pipe and 50 mil, 50 mil. I haven't got it here, but 50 mil PVC pipe. You cut it at about a meter, and it has a deep C tone in music. C.
Ah,
C.
Ruby's waiting.
Ruby's. I'll paint Ruby in a minute. The dog wants the painting. But
okay.
we'll get to that. And the musical instruments are then they cut at different levels. It's a bit smaller, and you get C minor out of it, like higher pitch. And so we make these instruments with kids, and before we cap the bottom with a polystyrene, so it's recyclable. The fruit boxes and things. Cap it, and it hits on the ground like a dum dum clack, boom boom clack.
Wow!
So we made 300 of them, and there's all these kids. So suddenly they're the tribal.
They're playing the instruments.
All made like that in about half an hour, ready to that they come along the festival, and then bang, they're the show, right? They're it.
Yeah.
They're the stars.
Fantastic.
And there's a couple of other songs that we create. We sit there and create songs. We take words. Oh, let's throw some words out. Oh, some kid says poo. I said, oh, good, poo. And they thought I was going to say, no, you can't say poo. But like, yeah, that's a good word. What else you got? And they go, oh, you mean we can say stuff? Yeah, say stuff. And they go, stuff, right, poo stuff. Anyway, I don't know, whatever. And we write it all down, and all the words get put there. And then we kind of pulled a song together out of all this. But we had one song called Two Legs, because they thought, oh, well, what's common to everybody? Oh, not everybody's got two legs, but most people two legs are walking. So 2 legs are walking, 2 legs are talking, 2 legs are grounding us to Mother Earth, Earth. Yeah, 2 arms are swimming, 2 arms are swimming, 2 arms are swimming through the waters of the earth, and so forth and so on. So they kind of made these songs up, bang. I said, right, we're performing them. I called the guys up at the front line there at the thing. I said, we've got a quick impromptu in your gap between your show. We'll just go in front of stage. 100 kids, they just go, bang, let's do it. Boom, hit it. And they just did it. And the parents and the teachers are just in shock. How did you get that together? Choreography takes 4 months to get them to do something previous. Right?
It's organic, right?
Yeah.
Go figure.
They want to do it. Organic. That's it. Go with the flower.
And other things too. Make their own spears or totems. We get a bit of wood and make a totem. A simple little wood piece and bit of carving. All those basic things that I might have mentioned last time, that the one thing the kids wanted to use was a machete. All they wanted to use was my machete.
Oh, yeah.
Machete. It was like I could
mentioned that.
Yeah, but that's interesting. Kids they just want to do that sort of basic stuff, right? Oh, here's my look. Got this here. I've got now 40 of these waiting for our next group if they come, and so I collect stuff. Like spears, and they walk around with them like this is their, happy stick, like a Linus blanket,
It looks like a pipe cleaner.
It does.
It
A
does.
giant pipe
Cleaner.
cleaner.
Yeah.
That's very brittle, very prickly, very prickly.
It is. And other things too, like the stories. What we love to do is to get the kids to tell stories. Like that's what it's all about. Like, so I sit there and say, well, look, what's good? What's anything good you got going on? Did you have a dream the other day? Anybody who does dreaming, they go, yeah, I did one. Oh, what did you do? Oh, and then they start, right?
Mark.
Right?
Wow.
And then you get this stuff coming up, right?
Brilliant.
Whatever, like, what do you got there? And someone comes up with whatever. Like one kid said, look, I saw this band come into my room. I said, oh, that's, cool. And there's, I did that too. And you'd be surprised how much stuff comes out when they're allowed to just tell their truth. Right?
Yeah, and not be edited or programmed. Yeah.
I don't like, only thing I get a rainbow rules. I say, don't go hurting anybody. Hey, no, and I'll say, I mean no. And they, right, but other than that, no problem. Some of the boys test you out to the nth
What
degree.
is it? No rules for Jules.
Yeah, no rules for Jules.
No rules for Jules.
I love that.
But then there's
that's excellent. That is an excellent approach to education.
It sure is.
Yeah, because that's the way a parent would educate their kids as opposed to a teacher. It combines like the same style of like mothering, fathering, and teaching all in one.
Well, it engages the child. It gives the child an opportunity to be expressive from the inside out.
Exactly.
And
they're amazing. Once you get in there, honestly,
that framed.
I should actually write a book on the stories. I got some good stories, man. I got some ripper stories from the kids.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Got some beauties, and like, you know, and the parents see them under like, I get them all under a rainbow parachute 6-meter circle that we made, and they're in there talking these dreaming things, and the vibe of their intention and kind of tuning in, right? And they're in there with me, like about 50 of them, and the festival's going on, and they were happy. Oh, they said, "Oh, childminder, just give it to kids." Well, gosh, we can have a drink and relax.
Mark, the best part of my day was waking up. I used to watch my neighbor's kids, like all 3 of them, for like 13 years. Anyway, the youngest one, most recently, I missed the heck out of it because I would wake up in the morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and just stumble over there with a cup of coffee, like, you know, and I would sit down with the dog, would be licking me and everything, and I'd be like, you know. But when that child woke up, she always woke up with a dream story or a story from the next day. And I'd be sitting there at breakfast, fixing her breakfast before school, and I'd be sitting there like this, you know, and she'd be like going on about and I'd be like, my eyes would get bigger. Bigger.
Yeah, they gone, eh? What places
well,
they
then
visit?
what happened? You know?
Who's the kid? Who's the child?
By the time she went out the door and got on the school bus, I was like, rest of my day was like, woo, you know. And I when she went off, it just went my whole at the time
it shifted.
My whole energy just,
I'm with you there, and I just want to mention also, because I work with the kids with disabilities a lot, whatever you call them, and my all abilities golf thing. I don't like the labels much, so I kind of anyway. We've got a thing called all abilities golf, but I've had about 800 people come through that service over 8 years, and anyway, some of these guys are amazing, but they wouldn't be. Half the teachers, and most of even the parents, don't know what they got in their you know,
the potential.
Yeah. They don't know
potential.
The whole thing about containment and management, all that drug bullshit, excuse the French, to stop them having a bit of a go.
Have some real fun.
I mean, the medicine has an effect on some of them in a way that calms them down while they're in class so that they can focus. But it also turns them into little zombies when it comes to their personality. Because I used to have one that, oh my gosh, I was like, I just can't stand the way the medicine's affecting the personality, the creativity. She stopped doing her art. She stopped doing her music. So as soon as she came off the medication and we dealt with it in a different way, she was creating again.
There you go. Absolutely truth. I was so much about that. And also the jabs that this is a little bit of a story, the forced vaccinations of polio and whatever from a lot of my friends whose kids were, you know, in that system, and they just it all got done, and all of it were, and they had reactions to them back then, and it definitely affected their lives. I know it was meant to be, and this is just what is meant to be and all that, but they kind of like know that it's not to be, and there's a big groundswell of interest with like Crystal and other mothers. They want to show that it's there's another way to do it. Like, I'm really interested how we can represent that.
I think you got a great start, Mark. Great start.
Yeah.
So we got drinks here. We got kombucha.
Some watermelon
out here. Look,
watermelon. That watermelon's so red. I can't believe
watermelon. Come on.
I'm telling you, everything in Australia is fruitier, sweeter, bigger.
That's us.
Gary sent me pictures Gaza of his backyard, and I'm like, look at the size of that onion. Look at the. I mean, just everything is like.
It's bigger in Australia. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Big banana.
Size matters.
No, that's true, but sometimes it's very little. But these lately times, it's been that kind of amazing weather where it's just rained and then it's got hot, and then the things grow like quick, and you know.
And it's nice and breezy up here on the hills too.
Shifts it.
As you could
you
probably hear.
look like you're having a beautiful day there.
All right.
Your hair is
you know.
flowing from the bottom. Your hair is just pretty, yeah.
Fresh air.
Ruby's still waiting.
Ruby's just loving all this.
Who's painting Ruby? Who's painting Ruby?
Oh, she's just here waiting. Oh, you do that. But another good story though. I just mentioned this. The most amazing Aboriginal people, when they do their painting, they validate all this to us, and we probably should get a few of them along. But they really validate what was going on with the integratedness of face and body art for them, just in any time which they, even just for their walking or a daily routine of something. They, a bit like Indians, they do something with the connect to the earth or the paste, or just little things. Adornments, as not a ritual, whatever you want to call it, but a discipline-y thing, and it's making that connection with the land and earth, and being like what we are in whatever way to celebrate it was their constant. It's their constant thing. It wasn't ever like not, if you get what I mean. It was always
right.
Yeah.
Well, we're approaching an hour and 22 minutes here, and I just wanted to. I mean, this could go on all night, and I would stay all night. But love. I'm so grateful. We're so grateful that you came back and shared these moments with us, because and I'm grateful Karen was able to make some connections there. Dalbert, all of us. It just means so much, and people are just totally unaware of this. And I just wish we could fly you over here and get you over here to teach some joyology.
Be good
to some of our tribers. I'm sure
it won't be long. It won't be long, guys. We'll be able to fly wherever we like.
Love to have you.
Hope so.
Come on and do this as like a workshop or something. I'm sure people.
I've got paints right here and a brush. I'm about ready to start painting.
Right. Yeah, far away.
Do it.
Yeah,
Kelly,
just do it.
Kelly, if you're still listening, run!
I'm going to paint Kelly this weekend.
Oh, look out,
Make sure she wears a bikini. Put a bikini on.
Oh, dear.
No. I can't thank you and Jules enough for setting this up, and Millie and Crystal, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you for your platform, our platform.
It's great.
Yep.
You bet.
Yes, the Gateway is very helpful in this regard, and Mark, Karen's already picked up some of the photography for the Joyologynow and added it to the Crystal
network. You're in a couple spots there, and just to let everybody know too, like everything that Mark had talked about what's going on in Australia and the movement and all the videos and the letter, it's all on the Crystal Network. Just go under Andromeda 7, more of the story, and it's every day I'm updating and putting what's going on there. So it's everything that we've talked about is there in that spot. I have it all the videos. Thank you, Jules and Diane and Turtle Dove. And everybody's sending me them, and so I keep putting them in that spot. So
I hope to take a good lot of us at the corroboree so we'll have the Andromeda on the 4th, which is your 3rd, but that's the day we're having the corroboree. So as soon as we finish, I'll probably go out there and camp the night. We're meant to be doing some work on this property that weekend. Millie,
I'll keep at it, but we'll work it. We'll work it out.
But I'll take as much footage as I can and upload that to you as well. Or somehow,
because even that is already splashed on the network on that same page. I even have that captured there coming up as well. As far as
that link is in the description for you folks. So just go to the description and you'll see the link for her website.
That's right.
Fabulous. Very good.
So thank you again.
We wish you the best. We wish you the best, and we're going to hang in there with you. We're standing in the origin with you guys. It's
well, it is for the whole planet, everybody. Definitely. It's the whole planet.
Yep.
The eggs cracked, the whole egg's cracked.
Yes, it is.
End of that. All right. Well, folks,
Loves to
thank
Millie.
you in chat. Thank you for staying with us in chat.
And Crystal.
Paul Joe. Yep. We
And
love
Millie.
you guys.
There's Millie.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Peace and love, everyone.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.